Here's a little life lesson for y'all out there. If you're ever feeling down in the dumps and worried that the one thing you hope to accomplish in life will never happen, just remember, it took them 30 years to make a good Fantastic Four movie. So whatever you have planned for your future, it can happen. It is possible. Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for the Fantastic Four First Steps, which is a lot of things. It's the fourth reboot of the Fantastic Four film series. It's the first one to be made directly by Marvel Studios themselves, and I don't even know which entry this is in terms of the MCU movies, but it's the first one of Phase 6, aka Phase 3 of the Multiverse Saga. Unlike the previous reboots, this one does not cover the origin of the Fantastic Four except for some opening montages and newsreels. Instead, it takes place on Earth 828, different from the Sacred Timeline, and follows the Fantastic Four 4 years after they got their accident that gave them the superpowers. They are these Earth's protectors. They've firmly established themselves as a family. Sue is now pregnant and she's going to be a mom, but soon things really start to take a turn when the Silver Surfer arrives and announces to everyone that the Earth has been marked for death, and she heralds Galactus, the Eater of Worlds. So it's up to the Fantastic Four to stop Galactus, save the Earth that they have sworn to protect, while also protecting their own family. Now, I just recently finished up my retro review series of the previous Fantastic Four movies, tying with Michael Bay's Transformers as the worst retro review series I've ever had to do on this channel. Anyway, I was really excited for Fantastic Four First Steps, because it was Marvel Studios finally getting back the rights to Fantastic Four. How they got those rights back, I wish went a different way, but whatever. Constantine Films was no longer involved. It was gonna take a wildly different approach from the other Fantastic Four movies, and the result is the best Fantastic Four movie ever made that's not The Incredibles, which honestly was not that high of a bar to climb, because the last movie had a low bar to climb and yet squeezed under the bar. This one could have easily taken a tiny step above that bar, but instead it managed to go leaps and bounds over the bar, because this is amazing. Dare I say, it's fantastic, because there's so many elements that this movie gets right with its main characters. First of all, they focus on the family aspect. More than any of the other film incarnations, this is the first time where I actually believed that these characters actually cared for one another. And it helps that you have such a stellar cast. All of them have great chemistry with each other. Even though Pedro Pascal is literally in everything right now, he actually made for a great Reed Richards. I bought him as the smartest man in the world. He's really likable, but he's also a flawed character as well. He doesn't have all the answers on his own and relies on the wits of the other Fantastic Four members to help him out and come up with something that might be better than what he came up with. He has amazing chemistry with Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, who might be the highlight of the film, because this is the best version of Sue Storm in the movies. She's confident, she's tough, she doesn't really take anybody's shit, and she has two of the most emotional scenes in the entire film. First is when she's talking to all the citizens of New York that they will do everything in their power to fight off Galactus, and the other is during the actual battle with Galactus, which really goes to show you how far she's willing to go to protect her family. Joseph Quinn and Ebon Moss-Bachrach are both really good as Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm, though they also surprised me in a way. Both these characters are actually quite toned down from previous incarnations, mainly the Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis ones, but in a way I kind of appreciated that, because those incarnations were so goofy and over the top that it was just kind of hard to buy them as real characters. I get that impression with these two incarnations. Joseph Quinn is really good as Johnny Storm. They don't overly play his womanizer sensibilities, because they make him actually smarter than previous incarnations of Johnny Storm. He has his own subplot with the Silver Surfer that proves that he's not just there for comedy's sake, he actually is important to the team. Ebon Moss-Bachrach makes for a really good Ben Grimm, and I love the way the Thing looks in this movie. He looks great, he's got a ton of personality, he's got the famous brow that the Thing is well known for. This was a great design. However, out of all the characters in this movie, I felt like he got the least amount to do, but there were still some good moments with Ben Grimm at the end of the day. I heard some people that had an issue with the way Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm have had their personalities toned down for this version of Fantastic Four, but honestly, it didn't bother me at the end of the day, and I'm sure they're gonna play up those aspects in future appearances. As for the villains, they did a really great job with both Silver Surfer and Galactus. They basically took the villains from Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer and went, what if we did the Silver Surfer better, and what if we actually got Galactus right? Because I'll talk about Galactus first. He looks exactly how he is supposed to look. He's not a giant cloud, he's this giant creature roaming around the galaxy looking for planets to consume, and he's intimidating. Ralph Ineson voices Galactus, and his voice just fits perfectly for this character. Sometimes his performance actually reminded me of Orson Welles' performance as Unicron from Transformers the movie, which kind of makes sense because Unicron is essentially a Galactus ripoff. Every sequence with Galactus is well done, and I can't wait to see this movie again, but in IMAX, so I can really get a sense of the scale of this Galactus. And the Silver Surfer is done really well as well. This time the Silver Surfer is not the standard Silver Surfer from the comics. Instead, it's his partner Shalla-Bal, who is played in this movie by Julia Garner, who I last saw in The Wolfman earlier this year. And she does a great job at giving this Silver Surfer a lot of depth. She's also a force to be reckoned with in the same way Galactus is. And she's also very expressive. Next to Sue Storm, she actually has the most depth of any character in this film. And I'm sure Julia Garner was doing motion capture for the Silver Surfer, but for a character that's kind of one shade of silver with not a lot of details, there's a lot of personality that comes from this character, and her action scenes are astounding. They are incredible to watch, and she's finally a surfer. Like, she uses that surfboard to actually surf the cosmos when chasing the Fantastic Four. That whole sequence in space is just mind-blowing in terms of how well it's pulled off. But outside of the standard special effects, like for the action scenes or The Thing and Galactus and Silver Surfer, the overall look of this movie is outstanding. The production design is gorgeous. It has that really cool Jetsons look to it, but it's more or less a tribute to Jack Kirby. Not just in the way this Earth looks, but the fact that the Earth is called Earth 828, which is also a code for August 28th, Jack Kirby's birthday. And it's probably the best looking MCU movie out there. I could just spend hours looking at this movie and all the little details in its production design. It's that gorgeous. I would actually be shocked if this movie didn't get an Oscar nomination for Best Production Design because it's that good. And considering that Matt Shakman directed all the episodes of WandaVision, which also nailed that 60s look, it's no wonder this movie looks as good as it does. If I had any issues with this movie, I think it's a little too short. It's just under 2 hours, and I know that they cut a lot of things out of this movie, like John Malkovich's character, but honestly, unlike Captain America: Brave New World, I didn't get the sense that anything was missing from this movie. I just would have liked some more things to be developed. And if that's actually the worst thing I have to say about this movie, that's more a testament to how great Fantastic Four First Steps is. It is the best Fantastic Four movie made by default, considering how bad the previous attempts were, because it has a great look to it, all the characters are spot on, they have great chemistry with each other, the villains are intimidating, the action scenes are spectacular, Michael Giacchino's score is next level in terms of amazing scores. It's just great all around, and I say worth seeing in your lifetime. This isn't my favorite superhero movie of the year though. I think I like Thunderbolts a little more than this, and I definitely prefer Superman, but Fantastic Four First Steps is a fantastic first step in the right direction for this group, and I can't wait to see them in the future. And there you go, that's my review for Fantastic Four First Steps. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I want to give a special thank you to my subscribers and YouTube members right over here. You guys are the reason why this channel continues to grow every day, and if you want to help to financially support the channel, you can do so via YouTube memberships for as little as $1.99 a month. But until next time, I want to know what you guys think about Fantastic Four First Steps. Whatever your opinions are, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can find me on these social media platforms and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. See you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.